Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the Ozark Highlanders.
Band, ready? For the rolls? Quick, march.
And that was the Ozark Highlanders. Now I'm going to introduce them to you, and they're going to and I'm going to ask them some questions. Can you tell me your name and a little bit about yourself?
I'm Barbara Scott. I work for the I'm with the Ozark Highlanders. I'm a tenor drummer, and I flourish.
I'm Marvin Starr, and I'm from Fayetteville, Arkansas, and I play the snare drum.
Hello, my name is Wayne Cowan. I'm the bass drummer, and I'm from Fayetteville.
And I'm Red Sisson. I'm from Fayetteville, and I'm a snare drummer also.
I'm Jack McFadgen. I'm from Bella Vista, and I've been playing with the band for 18 years.
I'm Joanne Tyler. I'm from Bella Vista, and I've been playing for about a year and a half.
I'm Sherry Riley, and I'm from Rogers, and I've been playing with the band for 1 year.
I'm Tom Bircher, and I've been playing with the band for about 11 years.
I'm Linda Jones, and I think I've been playing with the band about 4 years.
Hi, I'm Harriet Sisson, and I've played with the band around 10 years.
Can you tell us what you do?
Yes, I'm the pipe major, and I'm the one who tells the band how fast we're going to play a tune, what tune we're going to play, and when we're going to start and stop together. And the drummers follow, and the drummers and the pipers both follow my foot. I tap my foot.
What is it when you tap your foot? What does it mean?
It gives them an indication of the tempo that we're going to play the tune. We all have our tunes memorized because we have no way to hold the music, so we have to memorize all the tunes we play. And I set the tempo by my foot, and then the drummers come in after I call it out. I'll say, by the rolls, quick march, and then they'll follow my tempo.
Is there any, are you like the manager, or who made it up?
Well, we have a separate manager. She's not here tonight. You mean who began the band? The band was actually begun in 1983, and Dr. Steve Wilson, who has now passed away, and Ramon Hendricks from Goshen. Steve Wilson was from Fayetteville. They began the band in 1983, and it's gone continuously since then.
What do you do in the band?
What do? I play the bagpipes.
And what do you do in the band?
I play the bagpipes also. These are the Highland bagpipes, not to be confused with Irish pipes.
Highland bagpipes,
Right.
the great Highland bagpipes.
I played the great Highland bagpipes too.
I'm also a piper.
I'm a piper, and I started playing when I was in high school a couple years ago.
Hi, I'm the bass drummer. When she taps her foot, I play my drum. I supply sound for the tempo that we play.
And I'm a snare drummer, and we provide dynamics, which is the sound going up and down the volume, because the pipes can only play at one volume. They depend on us.
I'm the other snare drummer, and as he said, we kind of make the music flow up and down. We give it the voice.
And the tenors, they add pizzazz, they add sparkle to the stuff, so that you visualize the music as well as hear it.
What does the uniforms mean? What is your uniform?
I'm the wrong one to talk to about that. Probably Jack.
The uniform, if you notice, we wear what looks like a dress. It's actually a kilt. And there's 8 yards of material in this, which usually would make multiple dresses for a woman. And everything on it means something. The pattern of the tartan, or the plaid, means the family that this tartan represents is MacLeod of Harris. And the little pin that you can see down here was originally to keep the kilt from flapping up in the wind and embarrassing people. And the little knife we carry in our socks is called a skin-do, and it was carried in your sock because nobody trusted each other in Scotland years ago, and they wanted to know where your knife was at all times. And that's the bulk of it. And then the little purse-looking thing is a sporran, because we don't have pockets.
What kind of cloud of Harris are you wearing?
That's the name of the tartan. It represents the family MacLeod and a subsection of that family called Harris. And so this was, no one in our band can remember why we wear this tartan though. The two guys who formed the band started out with this tartan, and we've stuck with it, and no one knows why.
Where do you get your instruments?
Most of the bagpipes actually come from Scotland, and most of the drums are either made in England or here in the United States. And a lot of the drums are actually made in England.
How do you get them here?
You have to order them from someone who imports them to the United States, which usually makes them more expensive, but they're very similar to the drums that the marching bands in high schools and colleges use. So, but marching bands in high schools and colleges don't play those. And so they pretty much all come from Scotland.
What do you call, what are the different things on the bagpipe?
Oh, you better get one of them to answer that.
Parts of the bagpipe? The bagpipes, the chanter here actually has the finger holes, and you play the tunes on it, and it's attached to a bag that we blow up with air through a blow stick. And once we get air in the bag, then we squeeze it with our arm to keep the pressure the same on the bag. And these three are drones, and these two play a note an octave below the lowest note that the chanter can play, and this one plays the same note but 2 octaves below. And when they're played together, the sound can travel long distances, and that was one of the reasons the Scottish people liked them, because they could hear when there was a gathering or anything. If somebody was playing the pipes in a certain tune, they would know pretty much they needed to respond to it.
What are they made out of?
They're made out of African blackwood. It's a very dense, heavy wood, because since we blow in them all the time, they have a lot of moisture inside all the time, and normal, like maple or, I don't know, local hardwoods would absorb that moisture and would crack. And when they dried out, because they get wet and dry out and get wet and dry out. And so this is a better wood. It's just real dense and almost oily, so it won't hardly let moisture in.
How do you use the bag?
Well, let me demonstrate, but I probably would hurt your mic if I do it too loud. So. I fill the bag up with air, and then I punch it to get these going. And then a little bit harder.
That's how it works.
These three long pipes, part of the reason they call it bagpipes, are called drones, and it's the same word as the droning of bees. Like it just makes one note and it goes, and that's the accompaniment to the melody. But the notes are, one's higher and one's lower, but it's the same note. It's just, and they're loud. The chanter actually plays 9 notes, but each of these only plays one note. But they're very loud, and they pick up they resonate with each other and make it so you can hear it a long ways away.
Is this just like a flute, or?
Not exactly. I played the flute in high school. A flute, you hold sideways, and a lot of times it'll have keys on it. But a flute doesn't have a reed, and this chanter actually has a double reed inside, and that's what actually makes the sound, is the air going through the reed. And with a flute, you just blow into the flute, and it makes the sound. And it's a lot easier blowing into a flute than this. This takes a lot of energy to make all these reeds. There's also a reed in each of the drones, so you've got 4 reeds that you have to keep going all the time, and it takes a lot of energy. It's kind of like jogging, it's something you don't just get out of bed and do one day and haven't done it before. You have to build up to it.
How did you learn how to play them?
Well, the pipe band provides lessons. We've done it different ways. When we have teachers available, we have private lessons, or periodically we have classes for beginners, for bagpipers, and we have private drum lessons when we have someone who's interested in that. So if they wanted to contact us about taking lessons, our internet address or website is ozarkhighlanders.com. If you Google Ozark Highlanders, you can find out more about lessons. But that's pretty much how all of us except Jack Jack learned in Canada, where there are many bagpipes, and they're a lot more common than they are in Arkansas. And the rest of us learned here in Arkansas.
Okay. I'm going to move over there.
Good.
Hello. What do you use your drum for?
I use my drum to provide tempo and speed to the band. It also adds a little color in addition to the tenor drummer over there. Just the sound of the bass drum kind of lends some color, but my primary responsibility is to follow the pipe major's foot and to provide tempo for the band. That's how fast we go.
How big are your sticks?
These are they. They are not real heavy, as you can see. They're not very heavy, and they're made up of a exterior coating of what I believe to be is lamb's wool, and then they've got maybe some styrofoam or some foam rubber on the inside. And they're depending on what kind you get, they can have a lot to do with making the tone of the bass drum either good or bad. These happen to be very, very good. I don't know that you can call them sticks, mallets, beaters. Some people call them beaters. But they're kind of fun to do.
Did you take lessons?
I've been playing drums since I was in the 6th grade. I was in high school band and college band, and yeah, I guess you could say that I've taken lessons, but it's been over a period of years that I've done that.
How old did you begin?
I went to a junior high school band tryout, and I wanted to play trombone, and I tried to play trombone, and my arm was too short to hit the farthest note. So the band director had me take sticks and hit in the center of a little circle on the head of the drum. And since I could do that, I suddenly became a drummer. So that's how I started.
Did your parents call somebody to give you lessons, or did your music teacher just give them to you?
Our band director gave us basic music education about what notes meant what, and from then it was just a matter of experience and trial and error. So I did not take any formal lessons other than what our band director provided us. And after playing some time, you just learn how to play.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
How did you begin to play what you play?
Well, I wanted to be in the band, but I couldn't play the bagpipes, and I've always loved the drums. So I started taking lessons from the tenor drummer who was with the band already. And after a while, they decided that I could do it well enough that I got my own drum, and that's how I became part of the band.
How did you learn how to twirl?
That took a lot of time, and for the first, I guess, 6 months, I wound up having bruises on my hands from hitting my hands, and occasionally a bruise or two on my face from hitting my face with the mallets. Even though they're soft, it takes practice. It's like a lot of things. It just takes practicing every day for a while, and eventually you get where you can do it. It's like all of a sudden one day it's like the thing that you couldn't do, and you tried and you tried and you tried, you can do it. So it's just the proof of practice.
How long did you say you've been in the band?
I've been in the band for 5 years. So, twirl one of these?
I don't know. Would you demonstrate us how to twirl?
Sure, of course. Like this.
Have you hit anybody while you were twirling before?
You can ask Wayne. He's been hit many times by me. Usually I'm standing next to him if we're in a parade or we're in competition, and there's one or two pipers that have felt the edge of my mallet too. It's not on purpose though.
You want to tell us about your drum?
Okay, as Red here mentioned, this is a snare drum, which you see a lot of college bands and high school bands play drums that look like this, but these have 2 snares. And what that is on the bottom, these are called the snares. And if you look real close, you'll see another set on the top. And that gives them the tighter and a louder sound than your high school band. Crispy? That's the difference between the Scottish snare drum and the American snare drum.
Why does it have this cover on it?
Okay, that's called a drum head, and that's what makes the sound. These are tuned by tightening these little screws. The tighter you make them, the higher they go. If you break one, you have to take all these little screws out, take the little ring off, put the drum head back on, and then tighten them all up again.
Wow, that seems like a
long time. But luckily, these don't break very often. These are made out of the same material that bulletproof vests are made out of. It's Kevlar. It's real tough.
If you hit it too hard, will it way too hard, will it break?
Well, we'll see. No? Really hard. It's hard to break one.
Have you ever broken one?
Not one of these. One of the plastic ones like this, I broke those. But not a head of this kind.
How did you start playing?
Well, like most drummers, I started in school in the 5th grade and played through high school. And then after I graduated high school, I marched in another type of organization called Drum and Bugle Corps. And that's where I traveled around the country and performed on football fields, which is basically like a high-speed marching band. And after that, I taught some drum and bugle corps, and then I went and taught high schools. And it's been about 25 years since I played, and I started playing with the Ozark Highlanders last October.
How did you start?
I started, about 12 years ago, and I had never played a drum in my life before I started with the Ozark Highlanders, and they taught me how to play, such as it is. And so I don't have the background that he has, but you start when you can. And so that's this is the only kind of drumming I've ever done. So I don't know how to do the kind of drumming he did for many years. And so that's pretty much the way we all started. We just had an overwhelming urge to wear a kilt.
How did you begin on your bagpipe?
I began taking lessons here at the church, and had wanted to play bagpipes for a long time, and my friend that plays the bass drum let me know when lessons started, and I started about 2 years ago and have really enjoyed playing.
How did you begin?
I began back during World War II when the Scottish Regiment in Toronto, Canada formed a cadet corps. So I started playing when I was in high school. I played while I was at high school. And then I didn't start playing again until 30 years ago with the Scottish Society. And I've been playing for the last 32 years.
How did you begin?
Well, I've always really loved the pipes, and my husband, Mr. Riley, really loves the pipes. And one of the pipers here was playing at a school where I was teaching about 12 years ago. And when I heard him play, I thought, I've got to learn how to play the pipes. And his wife encouraged me for several years. And when my kids were old enough, then I decided to take up the piping.
How did you begin?
Well, as Harriet mentioned earlier, one of the founders of the band was Dr. Wilson, and I'm from West Fork, and Dr. Steve Wilson was my doctor in West Fork. And I asked him if I could learn how to play, and he said if I would come and up to the school where they were playing at that time on Thursdays, he'd teach me how to play, and here I am. I still don't know how to play very good, but I'm in the band. And one of the reasons I like the pipes is that Jack learned how to play in World War II, and I learned to like the pipes watching a bunch of old World War II movies when there were always pipers on, and that's how I learned.
How did you begin?
Well, if the truth be told, I went to Scotland in 2002, and I was in Edinburgh, and I was walking down the street, and there was the sign that said Baird's Pub. And I said, Baird, that's my grandmother's maiden name. And so what it said to me was my grandmother was Scottish, which I didn't know at the time. And so I came back here, and I had seen the Ozark Highlanders play for St. Andrew's Day here at St. Paul's a couple of times, and was just fascinated by the instrument, and met Harriet at a Burns night and asked about lessons. Jennifer Brown pointed me in her direction, and I just started learning how to play.
How did you begin?
Well, I had always liked Scottish things. My maiden name was Lindsay, Lindsay, which is the Scottish spelling, and my dad always told me about, we have a different colored tartan than this one. Ours is kind of dark burgundy and navy. And I had gone to a couple of Scottish festivals a long time ago over at Batesville. They have the Arkansas Scottish Festival over there, and I heard pipe bands playing over there. And I had thought about taking lessons, but I didn't do anything about it until 12 years ago now. And my son and I went to Braveheart together when it first came out in the movies, and it was just, that was so neat hearing that again. And I decided I really needed to go ahead and learn how to play. So I got in touch with the band again, and they gave me lessons.
We would like to thank the Highlanders for being so graceful, and they're going to play a couple of songs for us. Can you tell us some of the songs and the tunes?
Yes, we're going to play a march called Wings. It was a military march in the British Isles, and we're going to play High Road to Gairloch, and the Gairloch is a place in Scotland, and those are the two we're going to play together.
Thank you.
Thank you.